Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. I'm your whimsical DM, Victoria, and we're gonna play some D&D. But before we play some D&D, we're gonna do some announcements and a recap. So, Kristy, if you could be so kind as to roll that clip.
Good evening, and welcome to the show. Now, here's a word from our sponsors. Little Dragon Core is a Canadian-based dice company that supplies all kinds of cool tabletop gear. I mean, look at all these pretty dicey boys. Head on over to littledragoncorp.com and enter the coupon code BONUS for 15% off your order. That's BONUS. Cardboard Castle Games is a brick-and-mortar game store local to Evans, Georgia. They have a wide selection of tabletop gaming and other cool games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon cards, and even Yu-Gi-Oh! You can visit them in-store and let them know that we sent you, or you can go visit their website at cardboardcastlegames.com. Also, big thanks to Syrinscape for the amazing atmospheric sounds and music. You can add these sounds and more to your game when you download the Syrinscape desktop or mobile app. The app is free and comes with 20 sound sets that are included to get you started. You don't even need to register. Go to Syrinscape.com to find out more. Thanks as well to Adrian Von Ziegler for providing some additional music that we use here on Thursday nights. He's a talented composer with great content usage rights, so go check out his YouTube and Patreon and support him if you can. Please check out our other games. We stream almost every day here at Probo. We have games for several of the major published 5e modules as well as homebrew games, and some of our games feature systems other than 5e, like Star Wars, Power Rangers, and Alien. Come watch all of our VODs over on our YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget, you can also support the channel by following, by subscribing, remembering to click the bell notification so you never miss another live stream, using channel emotes, and if you're an Amazon Prime user, you get a free subscription to Twitch every month. Thanks again to all of our sponsors for supporting Proficiency Bonus. And now, back to the show.
Thank you, Kristy, for your wonderful announcements. I appreciate it. And now, without further ado, we're going to get to a recap by our resident recapper, Ink. Take it away, Ink.
Conflict. Conflict is the word that I would use to describe the last session of Wild Beyond the Witchlight, Victoria. It was kind of crazy. All the party wanted to do was cross a river. Can't be too hard, right? But nothing is simple in the Feywild. Coming upon a dock, the party saw that there was a ferry that seemed to go back and forth across the river. Considering Ego couldn't swim, they elected that this would probably be the best way to cross. But when they met the ferry woman, everything got a little bit more tense. She was extremely pale, red hair, and overall just this ethereal figure that appeared and asked only for something to eat in return. Clover, being the kind, giving person that she is, said that she could offer some of her food. What we didn't realize is that it wasn't the rations to which this figure was craving. After the first group was moved across the river, Clover decided that she was going to stay and ride back and forth as she found the mysterious figure very alluring, charming even, perhaps. And as they were making their way back to retrieve Dawn, that is when everything got a little bit spicy, as this fairy woman proceeded to feed on Clover. A bite on the neck, a taste of her blood, a connection between them mentally was created. When this came to light, conflict between the party rose. Dawn, angry that Ego and Aurum didn't do anything to prevent this, Ego claiming that they did not want to have any kind of control over Clover, and Aurum stating that Clover being really, really nice to people and overly giving and self-sacrificial is unfortunately very in character, and so they didn't realize anything was wrong. This creature you may think is a vampire, but it turned out to be something called a Bavanshi, a sort of vampire adjacent or vampire-like fae, who is just as tricksy as both of these origins might make you to believe. Combat broke out, sort of, briefly. Dawn, not happy with how things had been going, attempted to strike out at Bav, but she very quickly retreated, maintaining her connection mentally to Clover from a distance. And then eventually, a very, very large argument broke out between Aurum and Dawn, leaving Ego to stay and comfort Clover and try and push her at least a little bit towards being a little bit less self-sacrificial. They finally made it to their destination, this strange mountain with a keyhole-like light coming out of the front of it, and decided to investigate. What turned out to be, again, not so simple, as a simple exploration became a long, drawn-out walk until the party finds themselves in an entirely different place. A forest all the same, but definitely not the one that they had found themselves in prior. They have been transported once again somewhere else. That is where we pick up, Victoria. Amidst the conflict.
Oh yeah. Alrighty. Well, hey, Ink and Kristy, feel free to take a D6 Bardic Inspiration for your contributions to the stream. And we will kick things right off. So, when we last left off, the group of you were just emerging from a rather long walk through this, tunnel that you thought was going to lead to that, shining keyhole. But given how long the walk was, talking a couple hours, things started getting weird, and you realized that there wasn't really a way to turn back, so you just had to keep going forward. And when we left off, you found yourselves, emerging into the light, this path with roots and vines bending and twisting, upward and arching over the forest floor that shouldn't really be there because you were just, several hundred feet in the air. But now you're not. So these tendrils weave their way through low-hanging branches, and the foliage ahead of you is quite thick, and it forms this tunnel that seems to lead very deep into some woods. As you're about to step closer, to step out, you can hear that there's this deep, very melodious voice filtering through, and it has this sort of lilt to it that reminds perhaps some of you of listening to your parents or a sibling or an elder recite to you a tale out of a storybook. And you can see in this path ahead, this little red squirrel frolics out from the bushes along the path and then scurries down into the underbrush, down out of sight on this little pathway.
Ego will, seeing how beautiful and bright everything is, will sort of sigh and be like, it would seem that we've been brought somewhere new yet again, and it is uncomfortably idyllic. I don't trust it.
Me neither.
Well,
is this what we
unfortunately,
on the map? Is that what we're seeing? It just keeps going.
It's the trees here are very densely packed and basically forming this tunnel forward. And there's that faint kind of amber glow that you, at least in Thither, have come to recognize as just the permanent time of day, that like 5-6 p.m. golden hour light. And the forest around here, like the wood is a really, really rich, like reddish brown color. The leaves on these trees are big and floppy and healthy dark green. There's like little motes of light and like kind of like lightning bugs that lazily like bounce through the air, and it's very like warm and comforting. And like as you enter into this space, like as you're kind of on this threshold between the tunnel behind you and the forest ahead of you, it's like very warm and almost like womb-like to be in this forest. It's like enclosing you, but there's like a warmth and like a gentleness to this forest.
I feel like if we try to wander off in a different direction than the very obvious light at the end of the tunnel, we're not going to make it far. And unfortunately, turning back would be a waste.
Yeah, like when we looked back, it was gone, right?
Yeah, when you look back, like you're basically looking at an identical like tunnel in the forest, but like there isn't a light at the end. It just kind of like a row of infinite trees forming a makeshift tunnel vanishes behind you. Aurum is nowhere to be seen.
Oh boy.
We've also lost a big cat.
Oh no. Sucks to suck, I guess. Anyway, can I?
I'm gonna look around for Aurum because that's what she would do.
Okay, and then what does Dawn want to do?
I want to see if if that squirrel ran off too far to like go after it. Like, is it just gone, or if I can see it anywhere?
I mean, it went straight down this like little path.
Okay.
You can't see it now because it like kind of scurried ahead, like doing its like a squirrel like running across the street kind of run. Like it went down there. If you go down the tunnel, you could probably find it.
I'm waiting for Clover to finish. Yeah, I'm waiting for Clover to finish looking for Aurum so we can all go together.
Yeah, Aurum, or not Aurum. Clover, roll. You can roll a perception check, or you can roll like an Arcana check, or you can roll an Insight check.
Oh no.
I will take that Arcana, because that's something she actually kind of understands.
Go for it.
I know you're not on the best terms right now, but he still is useful.
Wait, what?
I was mentioning to Dawn.
Oh, it rolled a natural 1, but then it says 10. So maybe the die, like the rolling die on D&D Beyond lied to me, and it actually landed on not a natural 1. But okay.
Wait, in roll 20?
Yeah.
In roll 20, it's a 7 plus 3.
Yeah.
Or did you roll on D&D Beyond?
I rolled on D&D Beyond, and the digital die landed on a 1, but then
it looked showed... like a 1, but it said 7.
But it's a 7. I bet it's a 7 that looks like a 1.
It's gone now. I can't see it.
Well, we'll just take the 7. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So 10. I'll take the 10. Yeah. I'll take the 10.
Yeah. Clover may not necessarily understand like the deep workings of magic, but like you've been in the Feywild long enough to know that sometimes people just go missing. You know that from experience, and then sometimes they turn back up later. And I feel like, for that walk, I think Clover is well aware of the fact that Aurum was very, very upset.
Oh yeah.
And that your emotions, and your like thoughts and your feelings can shape the Feywild around you, which you guys have had like direct experience with. And so there's a chance that, that because of how upset Aurum was, he went somewhere else. And once he can work his shit out, he'll probably come back.
Okay. I think Aurum just needs a little bit of space.
Or maybe it was my emotions and I needed space from him. But he chuckles to himself.
Dawn.
Clover.
Ego. Now that we've reestablished our identities, we need to keep moving, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
But we will keep an eye out for him.
We sure will. He does the like thing where you when you spin your umbrella when you're really happy. He spins his sword on his hand like that, and it's trying along.
Sing in the rain.
Exactly. He's like, this is great.
So you are actually happy, and you're not for Dawn. You're not being a little stinker. Are you genuinely happy?
I mean, so it's not that he is.
It's okay if you're genuinely happy. You're allowed to say that.
When you just fight with somebody, even if you don't really hate them, seeing something happen to them just after fighting,
it's like a vindicated feeling, even if it's not justified.
Yeah, he's feeling vindicated. He's like,
I think that's the word for sure.
He's like, I didn't go missing, so karma is on my side. So yeah,
gotcha.
Happy.
Yeah. Okay.
So Dawn, as you're kind of surveying the space, you would notice that in the trunks of some of the trees, the whirls and warping and little holes in the trees appear to be making little smiley faces in the wood.
Aw. Hey.
It seems like Ego's how's Ego feeling right now? Just wanting to get going?
Ego, it's been a rough 24 hours, as we've established. A lot of highs and a lot of lows, and I think Ego is trying to feel nothing.
Okay.
Almost as a defense mechanism, because they do know that feelings can come back at you. So it's literally trying to neutralize and be all logic, no feeling.
Yeah. Clover, what about you? I noticed that you were frowning a little bit earlier, Kristy.
Yeah, she's very conflicted because she loves all of her friends. Conflict. She's literally.
And you're still technically charmed by Bav.
She's still technically charmed by Bav, but Ego gave her mom's photo. That made her so happy, and so it was a bittersweet feeling. Aurum's gone. Just watched Aurum and Dawn just verbal punch each other in the throat, go all off.
Pressing against each other.
Yeah. So she's all of the above.
Yeah. So I think while you're proceeding through this forest, you hear the slight breeze rustling through all of the leaves, but as the trees move and the branches kind of rub against one another, you kind of hear this creaking and groaning that sounds almost like moaning of little frustrated groans. The wood is kind of making a little bit of a sound like that. I mean, Ego, you're fine. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. I mean, it's the Feywild, so everything's weird, but
I'm weird. You ever seen me without this hat?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird under there. Don't ask.
Yeah. But, what would you like to do?
Like I said, Ego is looking, he's kind of looking for the squirrel, or just following it, because he's I'm pretty sure if it lives here, it knows how to navigate, and there is a non-zero chance that it can just talk. So...
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to follow that squirrel.
Okay, and what are the rest of you doing?
If Dawn goes off track, I think she'll stick with Dawn, but if it keeps going towards the light, she'll just keep going.
Yeah, the way that the squirrel went is into the light.
Okay, then yeah, I'll
I-
maintain course.
I'm holding on to the back of. Does Dawn have like a cape or a cloak? I forget. You have your
I
armor.
think-
You can have a cloak
Nice.
if you want.
Well, I was about to say, I think he does now. I never opened up his character sheet. I was like, I should do that.
Ego's
pretty
trying
sure he has
to
a
hold
cloak of-
hands and hold cape.
Yeah, he has a cloak of protection now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely
So I'm
has
holding the hem of the cape while he's ahead and trying to hold Clover's hand because Ego just always does that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're able to continue forward. And you continue walking through the forest. The ground is like very soft, plush grass underneath your feet. And then eventually, after following the squirrel, this like forest tunnel that you're in opens into a rather large glade, and it's shaded overhead by braided branches and woven leaves and spider webs everywhere,
Oh no.
all over. At the center of this clearing sits an enormous spider that is very delicately holding a large book and like its two front legs.
Oh.
A group of animals sit at its feet like children, staring up at the spider with rapt attention as it concludes. The boy stood up shakily and looked once more at the pyramids. They seemed to laugh at him, and he laughed back, his heart bursting with joy, because he knew where his treasure was. The animals cheer in a burst of excitement as the spider closes the book and places it in a little sack made of spider silk. And as you enter the space, the spider, this giant, like, spider creature looks in your direction and says, "Oh, welcome to Fable Rise, my friends." Would you like to hear a story?
I mean, sorry, welcome to where? Fable
Fa-
Rise?
Fable Rise, this is my domain of delight. I'm
Oh.
Yarn Spinner.
Hi, Yarn Spinner.
Well, won't lie, we kind of just ended up stumbling here, wandering around.
Oh, wandering. From where? Do you have any tales of where you're from? I love hearing stories.
Probably many.
I have a few, but I'm not sure if they're that interesting.
Well, if you would like, take a seat, and I can host you all here. Just a moment, everybody, if you wouldn't mind just moving over a little bit, please. And the spider, like, very delicately is, like, gesturing for, like, all the animals to kind of, like, create a little bit of space in the middle of this, this clearing. And, this massive spider, like, 20-foot tall spider, begins very expertly weaving, like, dozens and dozens of thread out of silk, from his body, and begins to create shapes out of this. And as you watch, while he's talking to you, he's creating like a table, like a long banquet table, and a bunch of little chairs. And then you can see that he's weaving like candlesticks onto the table, and little plates, and like little fruits that are made out of spider silk, all kinds of like little treats. And as each object is like completed, like the weaving is done, it like pops into existence as like an actual apple instead of something made out of spider silk.
Oh my god!
Ego was going to say, from what I had learned of Sir Talavar, if Tailspinner here is the owner of this domain of delight, then pretty much anything, they can do anything here. They would be sort of all powerful, which means we would want to not upset them.
Of course not.
If they have stories,
Yeah.
that might mean this would be someone who has information, which is what we're trying to find. And I don't know, they seem relatively nice and not spider-like, unfortunately.
They seem pretty spider-like to me.
Spiders are supposed to be creepy, not read stories to fluffy animals.
Says who?
Me.
I always thought spiders were cute.
They're very scary.
I mean, just because something is long and spindly sometimes doesn't mean it's scary. Have you seen a jumping spider?
Yes, they're very adorable.
Exactly.
I'll take a seat at the table while they're bickering about a spider being cute or creepy. And she's like, they're both.
They're creepy.
Queepy.
Queepy. Quippy! That's a competitor. I'll take a seat.
I'll also take a seat.
Well, feel free to have some little snacks. There's a little bit of water in all of your cups. I've got a little bit of Fey wine. Be careful with that. It's very strong. I can't really control that. It just happens. But as I said, welcome to Favorites. I'm always so happy to welcome new guests. May I ask, what should I call you? And the spider, like, cocks its head, and its little, like, mandibles are, like, clicking excitedly.
Hi, I'm Clover.
Hi, Ego.
I just saw Crab's message in the...
Yeah.
Clover, lovely to meet you. Ego, lovely to meet you. And, Don?
Yep. Name's Don.
Oh, wonderful. Well, is there anything else that you need, or, would you like to hear another story? And then, like, all of the animals that are sitting there that have started, like, climbing up into little chairs are like, Yarn Spinner, tell us another story! There's, like, a badger that's, like, slamming its claws on the table, like, story! And, like, 6 squirrels are, like, on another chair, and they're like, we want to hear a story! Tell the story! Come on, what's the story? Come on, get another book, tell us! And they're, like, all, like, yelling at Yarn Spinner to tell the story.
Good God.
Everybody, patience, we have new guests!
Yeah, I'm down to hear a story, I suppose. What about? Like, taps one of his little legs, like, on his, like, little spidery mandibles. Well. What would be an inspiring tale right now? Oh! I have an idea.
Not to the ding in the music, getting an idea.
So, I came across this story about a rather strange group of people. A story of heroes and villains and those who are in power. Let me see if I can remember it. And he begins to, like, weave, like, his little threads again into the shape of a book, and then it pops into existence as a book. Ah, yes. This one will do. I have to get something for you, because it's gonna be a lot easier for all of you this as well. This and this copy, and I'm gonna put it in here, and I'll send that shortly. So he opens up the book, and he says, Once upon a time, there was a paladin named Strongheart. the most courageous human in all the land. He, and of course, his fearless unicorn steed, were part of a group called Valor's Call, a group of protectors who brought peace to the good folk of the world. But the forces of evil are not always so easily stifled. From the shadows, a group of villains banded together with a single purpose in mind: the accumulation of power. A greedy, narcissistic human sorcerer named Kellic led the band with his right-hand man, Zarak, the most lethal of assassins. The two hatched a brilliant plan to extort the archfey of Prismere, Zybilna, and steal her power and wealth. When Valor's Call learned what Kellic and his League of Malevolence intended to do, it was with steadfast determination that they steeled themselves for battle. Strongheart, always the protector, turned to his unicorn with a heavy heart. The Feywild lies far beyond anywhere we've ever imagined, and I fear Valor's Call may not return. I cannot let any harm come to you, and need you to remain. And so, Strongheart's unicorn stayed behind. Valor's Call traveled to Prismere. The League of Malevolence quickly approached Prismere, unstoppable as they breached Zybilna's grounds. But as they entered the magical Palace of Heart's Desire, they were met with an ambush. Valor's Call was waiting. Spells shot through the air, short swords clashed, and Valor's Call quickly realized their fears were well-founded. They were going to lose. But just as Valor's Call was on the brink of destruction, a blinding glow filled the hall. Zybilna appeared in all her power, already spinning a spell to undo the destruction and stop the evil league. Valor's Call breathed a sigh of relief that the powerful archfey joined the fight, but their respite was short-lived. Unbeknownst to Zybilna, Zarak had orchestrated a trap set by his allies, the witches of the Hourglass Coven. As Zybilna reached for her cauldron to finalize her ultimate spell, she brushed against its surface. Like ice spreading across a lake, the curse shot through the room, locking everyone in place and freezing the whole palace in time. But not even the wretched curse could stop the call of strong hearts beating hard across the plains. This beating reached the ears of his unicorn companion, who summoned all his strength to will himself through the fabric of reality to Zybilna's palace. Not even the mightiest magic could withstand his healing touch, and the unicorn was able to reverse the spell and bolster the heroes. Together they defeated the League of Malevolence. In the end, Strongheart prevailed and the realm was saved, but he learned a valuable lesson. Couldn't do it alone. And Yarnspinner closes the book as he concludes this story, and all of the animals are clapping and cheering and begging for another story.
An interesting choice of story.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you liked it. That's a new one that I picked up along the way. Oh, it's getting late, isn't it? He stretches all of his little spider legs. Yes. Ego.
Yes, the stories you tell, are they just stories? Because I am recognizing some very similar themes, to things that maybe we have experienced. It would be a bit serendipitous. Did this really happen?
Well, I think every story perhaps has some kernel of truth to it, but come close.
Bites your head off.
Closer. And he puts his like little like mandibles with like the little hairs are like brushing against your cheek. Sometimes I like to embellish the tales to keep everybody excited and happy.
He's so precious, my goodness.
What?
Do you all need a place to stay? I can make you a little hut.
That would be nice.
It would be
Yeah.
nice.
I think we're
It's
all a little
been-
tired.
It's been a bit of a day.
I'm tired too. Let me put together a hut for the group of you, with the others. It's just in the clearing over here. Everybody, it's time to settle down for the night. Everybody, it's bedtime. And all the little animals are like, "Aw!" But they finish like eating, and then they all start getting up and like walking, and like starting to follow, like where Yarn Spinner is directing off into like another little clearing in the woods. Well, let me get to work on this. Is there anything that anyone needed? Any other food or drink? I'm going to make you your little hut. Is there anything else that you needed or that I could help you with? Because you are guests here in Fable Rise.
No, I think we got everything else. We got like our backpacks and bedrolls. Like I think we're okay.
It's not a need. Perhaps
Is it-
maybe a want. I really like spiders. I've never met one as big as you.
Oh. Am I big?
Quite.
You're definitely not the smallest spider I've seen.
Oh.
It's perhaps maybe silly. I've always wanted. It would be very much in my stylings
Oh no.
if I could have some sort of attire made of spider's silk.
Are your current clothes are not to your liking?
They were given to me by frogs.
But you're not are you a frog? I've
I
never
am
seen
not.
a frog that looks like you.
I am not a frog, and I continually am having new body parts appear on me.
Oh.
And so it would be very kind of you if I could perhaps achieve that wish of my youth.
Get a new fit.
Frogs, where are you? And you see like 3 little frogs come hopping out. There's like a little red tree frog. There's like a big bullfrog, and then there's like one of those weird like spiky desert frogs that all jump out and they all like look up at Yarn Spinner. Glork, Splork, and Gronkle, is it normal that frogs grow body parts out of themselves? I've never seen any of you wear clothes. Is that normal? Is this this is not a frog, right? And Yarn Spinner gestures towards Ego, and they're all like, no. And they just like, one of them is that like really angry looking like desert frog. It's like, I regrew a leg once.
That's yeah.
They do grow. I mean, I've heard that they grow legs. They are tadpoles first.
I was a tadpole once. The red one.
That face.
You're not a tadpole.
No.
You're not a
I
frog.
am. I'm Ego.
That's not a very good frog name.
Because I'm not a frog. If it is too much that I'm asking for, you've already provided plenty. It was just something that crossed my mind, and I'm trying to learn to ask for things.
I don't mind in the slightest. You are my guests, and if that is what you need to feel comfortable and welcomed in my domain, then I shall make it so. And so I shall. and he begins to like weave a bunch of fabric like with his little like spider legs, and is like holding up these like spider cloths to you. And he will like begin like taking like little pieces of silk to like measure all around you as you have these like giant spider legs like creaking and clacking, and they're very gentle. Like he is super careful. And he measures you out. It does take a bit of time, but eventually he will like weave clothing, and like you can like offer like guidance of like, oh, like I want longer sleeves, or like, you know, can you make it like shorter, like things like that. 1 piece, 2 piece, like it's totally
Make sure
like,
there's a cutout.
Yeah, you totally have like the freedom to like guide it how you want. But then when he's done, it will like make a little pop, and you have this garment that it's still like mostly black, and it's this very, very like soft silk, but like the edges of it are this like white, very like organic. It's like literally like spider silk, but it's not sticky. But the edges of the garment are very like organic shape and like natural. There aren't like that many like straight lines. Like it's very that like spider web shape kind of at the bottom, and at like your sleeves there's like maybe even like a little spider web shaped cutout, like if you want it in the middle.
Yeah,
I
was thinking
it's fully like all of the white like embroidery like comes together in the center to form a spider web shape, and there's like a hole in the middle there. Does anyone else need
that's pretty dope. Thank
clothes? Or anything else? I can get started on a hut, and there are 1, 2, 3 of you, so I can make 1, 2, 3 little beds. And you're much bigger than most of the animals, so it might take me a little bit longer.
That's fine. You seem to be pretty proficient at it.
Yes, I love doing this. It's quite fun. I love to have all of my little guests for our little story times. And he begins weaving like an entire like hut for you guys, and is like putting like a little table and like 3 little beds in it for you. It's pretty simple, but like there's a little door that he starts weaving. So, what brings you to Fablerise? I'll admit you don't look like the guests that I usually have.
I guess Clover would just like, not fully from the beginning, but the abridged version of finding out about the 3 witches and the curse and us being stuck here because of the mist.
No.
And give him like the highlights up to the point where Dawn explained how we got here in the first place, which was through that tunnel and stumbling in.
Oh, so the place from my story is real. You've been there?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I just assumed.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping you would have more information, because Zybana is real and she's really stuck.
I didn't actually realize that. I every story holds a bit of truth, but typically
Oh, sorry.
The stories that I find I embellish, and
I was just
make
gonna
my
say,
own.
Well, you said you embellished it. What was the original? Like, is there anything you changed?
I don't know.
Oh.
Do they just kind of come to you in the moment? Is that how it works?
Usually when I wake up for the day.
Oh.
Huh.
I often find that they come to me in dreams, and then when I awake, I can take these stories and put them into little books in my scriptorium, and then I can just kind of tell the stories later.
I wonder then. Do you think you either have or can find any stories about an evil hag that lives in a fallen tree.
Am I gonna fallen tree? I don't recall any stories like that, but maybe now that you've put it into my head, I will have a dream about it, and then I'll be able to tell you a story about a hag in a fallen tree.
Maybe.
And just as a reminder, because I kind of zoned out when you were telling the story. You said that the unicorn was the one that set Zybelna free.
Well, it you see, in this dream that I had, and the story that I concocted from it, there was the League of Malevolence and Valor's Call, and they had this great battle at a place called the Palace of Heart's Desire, and then some witches of the Hourglass Coven, they tricked good Zybelna and froze everyone in time, but because Strongheart's unicorn had stayed behind and heard the call of Strongheart's heart, he was able to will himself through to where his friends were in trouble and reverse that spell. Because it's important to always stand by your friends. You can't just solve big problems alone, and it's always okay to ask for help. That's the moral of the story.
I was hoping that was an actual practical answer to if we find a unicorn, maybe we can save her.
Well, I mean, like I said, every story has a kernel of truth to it, and there's a reason for stories, right?
Right.
I suppose so, yeah.
Well, it definitely, some parts of it, whether we can determine exaggerate or not, your choice of story does give us more information about something that we are dealing with in real life. And so for that, you have helped.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. Well, I hope you stay inspired, and there, done. And he finishes weaving the last thread of this little hut and the little beds, and then they pop into existence, and it's a very simple little wooden hut, and there's still a ton of spider silk woven throughout, holding it together. But he'll daintily pull the door open with one of his little claws. And when you look inside, you can see that there's a tiny little campfire in the middle, and 3 little beds, and a little table with a couple of pieces of fruit on them. And the beds are made out of really nice silk bedding. I feel like Eo's probably never seen anything like that. Clover,
Oh.
I think maybe your aunt slept on this kind of she slept on silk pillowcases to try to keep her hair nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Dawn is familiar with it because I feel like Dawn's a lot of his sisters have very, very curly hair that they're very serious about, and so they live the bonnet lifestyle.
Yeah.
Fully, they know they're you have to have a silk pillowcase to keep your curls nice. So they but he gestures in for you and says, feel free to rest here at your leisure, and in the morning I'll have more stories, and we'll have breakfast and tea, and I hope that you find yourself cocooned by the threads of sleep and carried away into lovely silky dreams.
Oh, it's so lovely. I hope you have good dreams too.
Oh, I always have wonderful dreams. Dreams are where I get my stories.
I hope it's a good one.
You're a good storyteller.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm so tired. I think it's bedtime. And as he says this, the light begins to like turn more golden and then red and then it gets dark. And for the first time and you don't know how long, it's nighttime. And you hear crickets chirping and you see those little motes of light, those lightning bugs, fireflies, lazily bobbing through this clearing. All of the little animals have gone into their little huts, and you hear their like honk shoo me 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 me's through their little huts. And you see like little faintly glowing Luna moths that are fluttering around and begin like drinking dew off of the leaves and the spider silk. And Yarn Spinner will bid you adieu and tell you that it is his bedtime. And he will begin to retreat into the forest.
Wow. True darkness.
Kind of missed it.
I like this. I did too.
And it is dark. There is no moon. It's just pitch black.
Yeah. Do you think he's
But we have a little fire in here, right?
You have
Yeah,
a
we
little
have-
fire.
We have a little campfire.
And there are like little bugs that are glowing out in the woods, but as you look out in the darkness, this like big, warm, cozy forest is almost ominous with these big, dark trees looming over the grove. And it's less like a womb and more like a cavern.
Okay. Sorry, what was Don saying?
Yeah, do you think he's gonna have a useful story about the hag?
Maybe.
I hope so. The thought crossed my mind, worrying if I know that this doesn't happen to you, Dawn, but folks like us, I gesture at Clover and I, we go places in our dreams.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that I will slip into his and ruin it for us.
Well, you know it helped at least a little bit last time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'd ruin.
Oh. I will try to not interfere in my sleep. I might stay up a little bit. Admittedly, I don't want to waste the night.
That's fair.
That's fair.
But you should at least rest.
Long rest.
I will. I mean, thankfully, mechanically speaking, Ego hasn't had to do anything today.
Okay.
So
like you can afford
I'm
to have a
still-
little wiggle room.
yeah. We could
Okay.
call it what do you call it? Taking a watch?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I could stay up a little bit, maybe wait to see if Aurum comes back, or see if when the night comes into this realm of dreams, if nightmares instead stalk these.
No, don't say that. I don't want a nightmare.
Well, the idea is that I would deal with the nightmares.
Yeah, but that's not how my luck works.
Well, I don't dream either way, so
Okay.
Do you like that? That you don't dream?
I don't really feel any particular way about it.
Have you ever had a dream before?
I had a dream of that one lady at the inn's eyes. It was creepy. That's about it.
What one lady?
Oh,
One-
I know the one you're referring to.
Yeah, the painter lady.
Oh.
When?
Oh, okay.
And the one that they say not to look into her eyes.
That's the only one you've dreamed of?
Like, that's the only dream you've had?
As far as I can remember, maybe I used to dream more when I was a kid, but
Sleep is like it's like its own work shift for you. You clock in and you clock out.
yeah. He's like, I just, I go, I'm going to bed now. And then I go to bed. And then
Must
I
be
wake up.
nice. I don't know
Don
what
can
that's like.
definitely like wake up at the time that he plans to also.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to wake up at 6:42. It's
Yeah.
6:42 when he wakes up.
Yeah.
Bro,
Crazy
I can do
internal
that.
clock.
It's weird. It's weird when you're someone who can do that.
Must be nice.
Ego will say, I do like my dreams, or I did. They were places where I could learn more. It was like being able to get more day out of my day. But as of late, I wish that I could just do what you do. So I think there's some good and some bad both to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you two can rest. I would like to see if anything crawls out of the shadows. At least a little bit. Ego's like
Okay.
playing with their new dress.
Yeah. If we do get anything out of this spider's next story, then we can we might be able to actually start thinking of a game plan of how to deal with this lady.
That actually saves Ibilna.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to bed now. He lies down and like literally 3 seconds later starts snoring.
It's like a video game character going to sleep where they lay down and then they do like the rigid like.
Yeah.
I feel like Clover and Ego kind of just stare at Dawn, look at each other, stare at Dawn like, how the fuck does he do that? That's like a real skill.
I think every moment that he is awake, he is forcing himself to be.
Oh.
I think this is his natural state.
You think Aurum's okay?
If I've learned anything about Aurum, it is that he gets lost
He does.
a lot,
Yeah.
but he always seems to be finding his way back where he needs to be.
Yeah, he can take care of himself, can he?
I think it will be better for both of them if they spend some time apart anyway. They were
Yeah.
about to participate in blood sport.
I really wish they would just get along.
Well, they're very different people.
I know.
But everyone should be just like us. We're very different people. We get along great.
I know.
They always got this pair, the girly girl and the fucked up goth.
I think they just need to be a little bit more open-minded to understanding each other.
Maybe.
I feel like they would probably have a lot in common if they would just talk, not shout. I hate when they yell.
They're both like leaders. And they are butting heads because they lead in different ways.
I could see that, yeah.
I do think that they just need to fight each other, though.
Her, like, ears flatten at the idea, like,
Not
airplane
to the
ears.
death. Some people don't talk their feelings out. Some people act their feelings out. And they both are failing with their words. They need to just punch each other, and then I think they'd be fine. And I mean that honestly from my cold, dark heart.
Well, I trust you and your judgment. I really don't want to watch.
You can look away.
Okay.
Sleep. You have your mom now.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her an update on everything.
She like crawls
I'm
into
going-
bed.
I am going to dance under a non-existent moon and frolic with the shadows and possibly cavort with beings beyond this dream realm.
Don't you have minor illusion?
Yes,
You can make your own moon.
that is perfect. Yes.
Good night,
I
Ego.
will minor illusion. I will minor illusion a full moon above my head and I will frolic and dance among the shadows.
Yeah. Are you gonna frolic in the hut or out in the forest?
I don't really want to go out in the like. Can I be like just outside the hut?
Could Clover keep the door
I don't want to
open
wander
so
too far.
she can keep an eye on Ego as he like before she goes to bed? She's gonna like snuggle into the bed, pull out her mom's like photo, like the frame photo, and just like quietly under her breath while Dawn's sleeping, like just give her a whole rundown of everything she's missed since I handed her over to the collector, and also still be watching Ego out the door as he's going back and forth.
Yeah, and there's like little you can open the door and there's like little shutters on like little windows, so you can just like open
Aw.
the shutters.
Yeah, I'll do that.
To like
I'll-
keep an ear out.
Yeah,
And
I'll
you can
open the
talk to
windows
your
and door.
mom. And it's
Yeah.
nice. It's like it's a comfort that you've missed for some time. Even though you can always like
I
talk to
always
your
still
mom,
do.
having
Yeah.
having like that. I get you didn't realize, I think, that not having her picture even for such a short time, how easy it is to forget somebody's face. And
Yeah.
the idea of her was still so strong that there were like details that you didn't even realize that you were missing. Like you remembered that she had like reddish blonde, like kind of blonde hair and a big smile, but you couldn't picture it in your mind. And so seeing it in front of you is very comforting, and it's it's a nice thing to have.
Mhm.
And it's a little sad too, probably, to realize that
Yeah.
like you were forgetting.
I think she probably does get a little like emotional and teary, so she'll pull the covers over her head and like that kid with a flashlight reading under the covers, she'll like have the frame photo and kind of do like a little druid craft of like little light so she can just talk.
Well, so when you're under the covers, would you let Luna come with you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Luna's been with her the whole time.
Yeah, so I think that this is actually the first time I think that Luna has properly seen like the picture.
Oh yeah.
And like she has like the little like kind of stripes made out of starlight, and they'll like glow a little bit when you try to cast Druidcraft. It actually just like comes out of her
Oh.
and gives you like this very like soft like bluish glow.
Oh, I love that.
And she like looks at the picture and like puts a paw on it, and in your mental headspace you hear, "Who's that?
It's Mama.
Aw, she's so pretty.
I know.
Who's that? The little one there.
That's me.
That's you?
Yeah.
You look so different.
Well, I used to be different.
Your hair's different, and you have weird ears."
Yeah, I still don't know how all this happened. I think
Hmm.
because I was in the Feywild so long I changed. I don't really
Hmm.
remember changing though.
But that's this right here, and she taps the picture. That's still you?
That's still me.
Does it matter what you look like?
Not to me. And I know it wouldn't matter to Mom.
And it doesn't matter to me either.
I think Mama would actually like it more.
I like it too. We match.
Yeah, I like that we match.
Our friend likes it too.
Really?
Mhm.
I forgot
It was
she.
a-
I forgot she had a mole. Right there.
Oh. Like little spots.
Little spot.
She looks a lot like you.
Most of me.
Even with the different hair now that you have normal ears.
Yeah.
You guys have like the same nose. And your smile is still really, really big too.
Yeah. I have my dad's smile, though.
Oh. He's not in the picture.
No. He was gone then.
Oh. Where'd he go?
Somewhere. Happy, I hope.
Oh, like a party?
No. No. I don't think it's a party. Somewhere where they wait for us.
Oh. Oh. Wait, he was done with his 9 lives?
Yeah. They were cut short.
Oh. You
Yours
know,
too.
oh no. That's something that's really important. That's something that's really important to our friend.
What's that?
Making sure that people get the time that they're supposed to have, and making sure that they don't get stuck anywhere.
Oh,
And making sure that everything goes on like it's supposed to.
that's nice. I didn't know that.
It got him in a lot of trouble.
Sorry,
It got
repeat
him
that?
in a lot of trouble.
It got him in a lot of trouble?
Mhm.
Why?
Because, well, I'm not really supposed to talk about it, but somebody else who's really, really strong didn't really like that because it wasn't how they wanted it to be.
How did they want it to be?
Well, they wanted to control where everything was going and where everybody started and how they walked and where they walked on their whole life journey through all their 9 lives, and then at the end, they had to go where they wanted. And there was supposed to be, everyone was supposed to be in charge of a specific group, but our friend didn't want it to be like that. Our friend wanted everybody to be able to choose instead of being in charge by one person that is then controlled by the really, really powerful person.
Oh. And our friend sounds brave that he went against something so constricting.
He's been, well, I guess brave, but it's been a really, 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 really long time since that happened.
Is he okay?
I think that's why he has you.
Oh,
Because you can make it okay.
how can I make it okay?
I don't know. You just can. Hopefully.
That's a lot of pressure.
Other people haven't been able to make it okay, but maybe this time you'll be able to do it.
I'll try my best.
He's counting on you.
Okay. Hey. Is that why he needs, like, the keys? Like, the key to the past? What is it?
Shard of the...
Shard of the past, a key to the present, and a thread from the future.
Yeah. Is that why he needs those?
Oh, I don't know if I should say. I don't know if I can say.
Oh, is it a secret? You're not allowed to tell me?
Well, it's not that it's a secret. It's that if I talk too much about it, then we don't know who could listen. And then if the plan goes back to where it shouldn't, then it'll be really, really hard to find a new plan. Because then they'll make sure that it doesn't happen. But you just have to trust that that's what you're supposed to do.
I trust you. Let's go to sleep.
I'm really tired. I ended up using spells on my friends, and I have no spells.
She'll curl up with you and start purring and, like, does her, like, biscuit-making process. And Dawn, you are passed out, and Ego, you are able to go into the forest and, like, make, like, a little illusory moon if you want. And, you're able to engage in, like, eldritch cryptic dances. Roll me a quick perception check.
I'm doing the real monster mash that no one knows what it actually was.
Yeah.
Sorry, which check was that?
It's a perception check.
For the original Monster Mash.
Yeah. Okay. Nine, unfortunately. I'm too into my dance.
Yeah. You're super into it. It's been a while since you've, like, had this kind of, luxury of being alone in the dark. And I think maybe, coming back to... This is the first time you've been in this situation in a while. So you've been through some things since you were last able to dance with abandon in the woods. So you're very, it's kind of more of an internal experience, as opposed to, like, casting your awareness into the forest around you. But it's a good dance.
Good, I'm glad.
The way that the silky, like, dress moves is, like, very fun.
Yeah. Makes me feel better.
Very twirly.
And then I will eventually, after concluding it, return to the hut and perform a sleep.
Yeah. You can totally do that. As you rest, the three... Ooh, Kristy, you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, do you mind?
Yeah. We can take a quick break right now. This is perfect timing.
Alright. We will BRB, fam.
BRB.
welcome back.
Oh, oops.
You're muted.
Rip.
I died in the war.
Damn, that's
no.
crazy. Alright. Kills your character.
Don just died and roll a d100.
Yeah.
If you get a 100, you die in your sleep.
Yeah. You guys, like,
Natural causes.
wake up and you look over and Don is, like, just still asleep, except he's not breathing anymore.
He's a skeleton in armor.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, but the group of you all eventually find your rest. And as you rest, all three of you, your minds are filled with especially vivid dreams and memories of your time at the Witchlight Carnival and the time that you have spent in Prismere. The three of you are together back at the poetry battle booth. Destroying that gnomish guy and, like, basically making him cry. You remember yourselves in the Thunderdome and the terror that you felt battling that, like, horrible clown. You find yourselves trying to subdue a hungry, malicious lioness and a baby elephant in the big top. You remember Dawn being crowned the Witchlight Monarch. And you remember falling through a mirror, guided by Misters Witch and Light, and tumbling through space and time as you found yourself transported to the Feywild, traversing swamps, entering towers, making friends with stumps and frog people, finding a walking in with an attitude, and a very randy proprietress, and you remember finding the Watcher and all of the different prophecies and strange stories that you found out about yourselves and each other, meeting Sam. All of these memories of these wonderful grand adventures that you all have had together come back in excruciatingly vivid detail. Are there any other, like, little, like, memories that you guys may have of, like, different, like, in-game moments that you thought were, like, top tier, that you think your characters would, like, remember, because you're all in it together?
Democracy.
I think chasing down the Kenku girl.
Yeah, Kettle
yeah.
Steam.
Yeah, Kettle Steam, pretty high up there.
Mm-hmm.
The carousel ride for Clover especially, and that fortune teller lady.
Yeah, the sea hag lady.
Who I gave an hour of my time.
I think you gave an hour of your time to, yeah.
To get an extra prophecy from her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, like, I think you and Dove, lended your ear and an hour of your time to her.
Yeah, and I said that I gave her, I think, my voice on the day when I need it least
and she needs it most. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also remember the Tunnel of Love.
Oh my god, the
Dawn.
Oh my god, that's Tunnel of Love.
On the Swandala, where we got all the hot goss. But also she was, like, asking us some pretty deep questions.
Yeah, she was asking. She was like a philosopher and like testing your like mental acuity.
Yeah.
Was it the Displacer Beast mom?
Durlagron, yeah.
I gotta find the baby somehow.
Out there somewhere. Ooh. Here in Prismere, probably the fight to make it to the Watcher. So, like, playing the music on the rainbow stones and those horrible
babies.
things that we did to the fat demon babies. And then, like, more recently, I guess, like, assaulting the Harengon base.
With the dragon. That was intense.
Yeah. And then me missing one session. They're like, so we killed a dragon. I was like, oh, good.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. And as you all like relive these wonderful memories, the group of you are somewhat surprised to see that in every single one of these memories, there is a large, ghostly spider looming in the background of these events. It takes no part in the adventure, but it watches everything that happens.
Is this because Clover told the story? Gave like an abridged version? Or is it because we're here? I'm so confused!
It's so...
But yeah, this big spider
And it
is there.
starts at the carnival?
From your first moment reuniting, as you all were in line, there is a spider there. For each of the attractions that you visited, every part that you went to, every clue that you uncovered, there was a spider there. As you entered the Feywild and visited different locations in Hither, there's a ghostly spider there. Your encounter with Bavlorna, there's a ghostly spider there. And as you made your way into Thither, in the mists, with your childhood selves,
Damn.
there's a ghostly spider. There in Nib's Cave, everywhere that you've been, the river, the Kelpie, the Bavanchi, and even up to your journey to the top of the little plateau that had that shimmering keyhole on it. As you all dream of yourselves walking
Did he see our fight?
Yeah. Like, you see yourselves walking into that tunnel and there is a ghostly spider there watching you.
Oh.
We see Dawn killing Aurum off screen and dumping his body.
That's where we went.
And being like, oh no, he went missing.
What happened?
What happened? Who knows?
That's so crazy. I hope he comes back soon. Yeah.
Aurum was like, you want to fight? We'll fight. And then Dawn took his sword and ran him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Actually-
the Aurum that was with you in the tunnels was actually an elaborate illusion that Dawn
Right.
had going.
Oh
Actually,
my God.
just we'll fight, and then Don Nat 20'd and max level smote.
Smoke.
Yeah. You just like yeeted his body off the side of the plateau before anybody could see.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what? The great part about that is that then Juniper has dinner.
Wow.
You know, he said that he would provide for her.
Yeah,
he just
he
didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't
Yeah.
specify.
Yeah, and
That's weird.
within your dream, you each enter your own dreams for those of you who have them. And there, as you visit pixies and sprites and unicorns and all manner
Oh,
of
damn.
fantastic fey creatures in encounters good and bad, satyrs and the like, the dream within the dream, there is a ghostly spider there.
Do we see each other's dream within a dream or just our own?
You all are there having like a shared experience of this.
Okay.
Whether or not you remember another person's dream, I think you guys can decide that like amongst yourselves if you want, because it's kind of a lot of the time when you wake up from a dream, you don't always remember them
Right.
in perfect clarity.
That's true.
I will say, it would mean that you guys see the encounter that I had with my
With your
mother.
mom. That's why I'm asking, because there's a
That
few
whole
things,
talk.
a few dreams that were very individualistic that if we're all seeing it, I'm wondering.
I mean, if these are, I think that like, all of you have like strong enough either minds or personalities to if a dream is if a replay of a dream is happening that you wouldn't want somebody to see, you can try to push people out, but the spider will
That's-
still be there.
Right. Okay.
But you can push your party out if you want, or you can try to.
Well, I feel like Clover, for the most part, has shared most of her dreams, so I don't think she would push anyone out.
No, I need to. If Ego tries to push me out of his dreams with his mom, I would push back because I need to see this.
You're breaking down the door.
Yeah.
I don't think I push you away, but I do think that Ego is I don't think embarrassed is the right word. Perhaps maybe shamed.
I feel like
so
Clover would
Ego,
hold
like,
Ego's hand, like during that.
Yeah, like Ego
point.
doesn't want to see it again, so like
Fair.
looks away. But I don't think they have the necessarily like internal desire to push you, like the subconscious desire to push you away. They kind of more so wish it just didn't happen.
Right.
But it
Ego,
did.
do you let Dawn and Clover watch as you visit with Dawn's artistic sister and tell her a different name and you made a pact with her? Do you let them see that dream?
Oh no, to be fair, that I made a promise of that we would keep that meeting secret. So that I need to push you away.
That's
okay,
fair.
Unless the pact itself just keeps them away.
Roll an intelligence check and add your proficiency bonus. And let me see. We'll see.
You
what
also have a
get.
D6.
You do have a D6.
And we'll see if I need it. I do add a 7. Okay, so that is a 16 plus 7, so that's 23. Ego is not about breaking promises. Even though that's really high, I'm going to add the D6 as well.
Fair. Yeah,
for
that's
another
fair.
2, so 25.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, for Clover and for Dawn, there's a point where you are kind of like you don't know what you're missing, but you're kind of like being like guided around something. Are you trying to fight your way in?
No,
If Ego is trying to keep you out of something.
absolutely not. I respect boundaries, and if Ego wants privacy, I will give them
I
privacy.
showed you the trauma one. Let me keep my
You
Yeah.
did see
promise.
the trauma
Yeah.
one.
So yeah, so that's what Don is sort of like balancing, because Don is like showing
You show me your
showing
trauma,
all
but
of
what
the
else?
traumatic ones. So what is up with the one that you're not showing me? So, but I think if Ego is going as far as to show most of the ones that Ego definitely wouldn't want to talk about, especially the ones where where Ego's talking directly with their mom, and their mom was like, "You're the fucking worst child I've ever had," and throwing their face into a boiling
Ego's
pot.
just doing the floss.
Yeah. Don is going to respect it now and maybe ask about the context later.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, the two of you are expertly shunted around something. But it's almost like a seamless experience for you because time is so different in dreams that you don't
Like a river.
You're not
going around a rock.
Yeah, it's like a river, and you don't realize that like there's a point that you're missing until like you're already all three back together again in the dreams, and it's like this weird experience of being separated from Ego, and yet you've been together this whole time. But there's a part where Ego is on her own, very briefly.
I love that. I don't know why, but this whole Victoria, this is beautiful. I love
Thank
all
you.
of this.
And you know what else happens that's kind of interesting? You do see yourself with Bav, the Bavanshi, and you are now coming out of being charmed by her. And you are reliving the experience of being charmed by her in a dream while you are actively being released from her charm effect. And there's a giant ghostly spider watching. And there's a giant ghostly spider watching at Ego with Dawn's sister, like for that whole everything, all of it. He's there. And then you wake up, and when the three of you wake up, you do realize that you have all shared the same dream. Going through all of your adventures that you've had together and all of the dreams that you've had individually or otherwise.
Oh, I saw Ego's conversation with.
You don't remember each other's names.
What the?
You don't remember your own names. You don't remember each other's names.
Shit.
The ones that I was given multiple names for a reason. Is it the one that I gave to Tailspinner or all of them?
Because you spoke multiple names in the dreams, any name that you gave is gone. If it was spoken in any of the events that were recounted, it is gone.
One name left. I have one name left then, because there's one name that I've never said.
What the fuck? That's my only name.
But yeah, like, you all recognize each other and you know that you've shared a dream, but... Now you're starting to understand why your friend who had white hair couldn't talk about trees and how confusing that must have been, because she knew what trees were. She just couldn't say the word. You know who each of you are. You know who you yourself are. There's no word for it. Luna is gone.
Like, gone?
Luna's not there. Luna's gone. For Dawn, your connection to a very annoying musician that you seem to have a strange magical connection to is gone.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, did he lose his whole subclass? Did he lose his whole
You
class?
have all of your sword and your armor, but the person who helped you to get this sort of connection, you can't remember their name. Ego, you remember your mother, and you know your mother's name that she goes by. You cannot remember it. And your friend with his big bushy golden mane and his kind of like boisterous personality, you don't remember his name.
Hey guys.
And also, Clover, you don't remember your Starry Tressum's name either. You don't remember her name.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Something very bad happened.
Something's wrong.
What the fuck?
I stand up. We need to find Tailspinner immediately. Come on.
Yeah.
You two.
Girl and
I don't know.
other person.
Yeah. What about Aurum always gave us kind of nicknames. Like, is Little Cat is that still appropriate?
Yeah, do I know that she's a Tressum?
Little
do I know
Cat
that
and Big Hat?
Little Cat is still there because the Little Cat's a nickname and that's not like your name.
Oh, okay.
But if for example, like Ego might not be Ego's like true name, but Ego is the name that all of you know Ego by, and you've never been given another name to refer to them by. So that is gone. But like a nickname like Little Cat is there, like, you know, you know what a Tressum is, you know what a cat is, and you know that you had a winged cat, a Tressum.
Okay. But
you don't remember your mother's name? Like
I think that was literally
that's messed up.
Vic, that was you are in my head. That was literally the first thing I thought of. I'm like, she doesn't remember her mom's name. Like that's a gut punch.
You were like, Victoria, this is so good. This is
great. And then Victoria was like, just wait.
This is great. And Victoria was like, give me like 30 more seconds.
Yeah, and it's you know, you had the realization last night too that like you were forgetting some of what your mother looked like, and you finally had it back, and you lost her name, and you don't remember your father's name either, and you don't have any pictures of him.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, God. We need to. That spider has to answer some questions, because I was given many names to specifically protect me from this, and if they are all taken at the same time, I'm pissed off, because those names were given to me so that I could trade them and still have other names.
So here's an interesting point. So Ego is gone, and then I believe the name that you gave to Dawn's sister was the E name.
Ephraim, yeah.
Yeah. The third one, that one's still there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I still have my
if
third
that's
name.
a name that you call yourself, you still have that one.
It is, yep. I wrote all three are my
The A name.
character sheet. Yes, the A name.
That one's still there.
Okay.
I don't remember the names of any of my bajillion family members.
Yeah, you feel.
No,
They're hard to
I'm
remember
yours-
anyway.
And Don, you're supposed
No,
to be
they're
the
not.
caretaker. You're supposed to be the
kidding.
one. You have all of their like identification documents. You have their basically like their birth certificates, their social security cards, their tax documents. You're supposed to have all of that because
What?
when they end up getting
I'm
audited
surprised
by
that they
the
have tax
fantasy,
documents.
yeah, when they get audited by the fantasy IRS, and they're like, hey, like, what's my, like, identification number? Like, that's the thing I have, right? You're supposed to be the one that knows all of that by memory.
Oh
and,
my
like,
god.
a lot of that is gone now.
No, where's the spider? I'm killing it.
As you all are, like, having this kind of, like,
Panic.
shocked, panicked, heated discussion, you hear this, like, small voice coming from, like, just outside of your hut, where you, like, left the little shutters open, like, just beyond the shutters, you hear this little voice. Not these again. These two-leg are so boring. So wake up. What my name? Freak out. Eat food. Go to bed. Ugh.
What do you mean?
I'll open the door.
Oh! You open
Heard
the
you,
door,
bitch.
and you can see that this like exasperated voice seems to belong to a small red fox that had been like eavesdropping on your conversation. And she's, like, sitting there, like, right underneath the window, like, with her ear, like, up underneath the open window, and is, like, looks at you and is like, oh,
Hi.
hello.
Do you know what's happening to
You?
us?
You definitely do. What happened to us?
What do you mean?
No. What happened?
I don't, yeah, all you two-leggers, you look the same, you talk the same, you act the same. I don't understand why so upset about this. You're so frustrated by everything that happens here. You don't want to listen to story, you cry, oh my god, who am I? I don't know. Who are these people that I am with? I don't know. Why it have to be so complicated?
So you do know what happened.
Well, I a few nights ago, I hear two-leg, having same problem. So, oh, my name, who am I? I don't know. Same problem.
So this
You
happens.
all the same.
This happens a lot.
Well, I don't know if it happens a lot. The yarn spinner awakened me 10 sleeps ago. I was fox. I was fox living in woods. I eat chickens. I am chased by farmers. I go into mushroom circle. I come out into a big forest. Spider, wrap me in web, and I can talk. I see one other two-leg. You all the same. Farmers who chase me from chickens all look the same. All of you.
What did the other two-leg person look like?
2 legs. Two.
It did just go on a
legs.
very long rant about how we all are exactly the same.
Two legs that lower the 2 higher legs. Eyes. Big teeth.
Fox,
What?
where is Yarn Spinner?
I don't know. You want to talk to nobody?
I want to talk about.
Oh, you don't remember? Yeah, you don't remember the name Yarn Spinner, actually. So you hear her.
Yeah.
You hear her say that, and you're like, "Oh shit! Wait, yeah, that's the name." Like, so you get that
Yes.
one back.
Yes. I need to talk to Yarn. Me and these 2 people who are my friends need to talk to Yarn Spinner because we have had things taken from us.
All 2 legs. Things taken. Oh no. Why you need it? You have food, you have hut, you don't need... What is all this?
That is easy for you to say as someone who takes.
I'm not take.
You take chickens!
I hunger. I need to eat.
I don't have time for this bullshit. I have things
You're
to
right.
get back to.
You're right! You're just a fox! Shoo.
Okay.
Where did my Tressum go?
You're
what?
very...
The Tressum? The cat? With wings?
Oh, I eat cat.
You ate her?
Not now, but I have eaten cat. Very gamey.
Ugh.
Now I only eat cakes and fruit. That is all yarn spinner make. Little cakes.
I don't like it here anymore.
Little fox, run away before you are eaten. Go.
I like to see you try. Sad crying
Oh.
two-leg, identity crisis two-leg, all of you.
You better not have eaten her.
Nah, I eat apples last night. Baked into little cakes. Well, boring, all of you same. Nobody over there. She points a paw at another hut that's down a little ways. I go frolic with squirrels. 2 legs. Ugh! And she starts prancing off.
I hex its dexterity.
She trips over some roots. Oh, no, cannot.
Oh, stupid 4-leg fox can't even frolic. Woo! And I start going towards the cabin. Or the other hut.
Oh,
Yeah.
yo, and she shakes a paw at you.
I'll follow.
Don is following, but he's very quiet.
I think
I don't understand.
Clover's just
we didn't
hugging.
give anything freely.
I'm just hugging the photo of my mom.
We listened to the story. There was no talk of an exchange. This isn't a deal. We're guests. We're not supposed to have things taken from us.
And
Asked
we
us what we could.
gave him a story of what we've been through, and then we watched it all, but I only gave a short version.
We
Gave him a story.
Clover. We gave him a story. We gave him our story.
So all the names in the story, even if I didn't mention them? Because
They're
it
all
was
part-
dreams too.
Yeah, that's
Part
the
of
thing.
the
There's some
story.
names that Clover did not mention when she was telling Yarn Spinner, but that you dreamed about, and those names are gone too.
It was
Said that they get their stories from the dreams.
maybe it's because we slept here.
Well, we can't leave without getting them back.
I agree. This is really bad.
It's my fault for once again not being more suspicious and thinking that someone is just being nice to us.
Well, it was my idea to
was
come here in the beginning.
Taught better that way. I mean, we got useful information. We learned a bit more about what was going on.
Yeah, and then we lost useful information, like the name of the fucking bitch we're supposed to be stabbing.
I know. I don't even remember the person that we're here to help. Ugh. I mean, I have one name left, but I'm not gonna say it now.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Let's go see this nobody. Maybe they know something.
If what's his name was here, he would have beaten that spider up. Don't know.
He definitely
I
would
just
have beat up
remember
the fox. He definitely would have beat up the fox.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He would have
I
fought
thought
the
about
fox.
It's okay. That fox is going to be animal abuse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Clover, just you keep in mind you're now like fully aware that you were like under the influence of magic
Oh yeah. Fuck.
by a
I think
lovely
she's,
vampiric
like,
fae.
purposely ignoring that right now because
She's like, listen,
listen,
we don't
we
need to talk
all-
about what I did wrong.
We all have our red flags that
we
we
will-
that we fall for.
we will deal with that trauma after we deal with the current trauma.
Yeah.
One
All right.
problem at a time. Let's deal with this first. I don't wanna think about it.
I've got rapier drawn in one hand, wand in the other hand, and I'm carving a warpath towards this other hut.
Yeah, you arrive at this other spider still cut very similar to your own. And you can see kind of like sitting like hands on his knees in the threshold is a stout fellow with rotting tusks and a grayish pallor, sitting there just watching you warily as you approach. And he says to you, and he calls out in common, "Who might you be?"
I don't know.
We don't
Who might you
remember.
be?
Nobody. Call me Nobody.
Nobody lives there. Yeah. Okay. Fox.
You forget stuff too.
Everything. Well, mostly names, right?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
We're trying to find Yarn Spinner.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he?
Well, I don't know where Yarn Spinner is, but
The big spider.
Yeah, I know that. I got that much. I don't know where Yarn Spinner is, but I think I know where Yarn Spinner keeps his books, his little storybooks.
Really?
Which would have the story in it. Okay.
Tell us.
Tell us where. Yes.
If I tell you, will you help me get my name back?
Of course.
Why would you just say that? He could be. You like Don turns towards her, and it's like he could be like a 6-time serial killer.
Are you a serial killer?
Listen, you mind your business, and I'll mind mine.
That sounds
We're all in the same mess here.
That's
So
not
let's
a
work
no.
together,
That's
and
not
we're gonna
a no.
see this through before anything else goes wrong. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to forget anything more than the names I already forgot.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
All right, Nobody. We don't really have too much of an option.
So you agree?
Look at Don. I look at Don and I tug his cape so that he can lean down, and I whisper, just because we help him get his name back doesn't mean that if we learn something bad about him, we can't end his story right there.
Fuck.
Roll stealth check.
Yeah. Tee-hee. Natural 20! 24!
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, Don, you like, it takes, Ego is so, like, quiet about it. It takes you, like, a good, 10 seconds of auditory processing to be like, wait, what? Oh.
Yeah, he moves his head from side to side to weigh it in his brain. He's like, fine, yeah.
Deal. Help you get your name back. Tell us where the stories are kept.
Yeah, we'll team up. I'll help you get your name back. You help me get my name back. So, deep in Fable Rise, there's a library. Oh, Fable Rise. It's Fable Rise. I got that much back.
Okay.
Fable Rise has a library or like a scriptorium, like a place where you store books. I think. I don't read a lot.
I can see that.
Fuck you! And, I think that's where all the stories are. But, you see, the thing is that the spider pulls books out, sort of, with magic during the day. So if you go during the day, there's a good chance your book's not gonna be there. You go at night, when Yarn Spinner's asleep, all the books are there.
Okay. It just was night. Who knows when it's going to be night again?
Well, it's, every day's sort of the same here. Yarn Spinner wakes up. Yarn Spinner tells some stories. Everybody has tea and cakes and fruit, and then they tell more stories, and then they go to sleep. That's a hard voice to do.
Yeah. All right.
Is it
Well,
did we lose everything because we dreamed it?
I don't think Yarn Spinner's to be trusted, personally. I mean, he's stealing names, he's stealing memories. It's only a matter of time before he's gonna steal our brains and eat them, or do whatever spiders do, where they wrap you up and then they suck your gut juices out while you're still alive.
spiders. Creepy. I said when we came here that I thought it was strange that he wasn't acting spider-like. This is spider-like!
Yeah.
To lure you into their web.
Exactly. And you know what? Have you ever heard of spiders that they make like a little hole they climb into a little hole in the ground, and then they weave like a little web over it, and then when a little creature walks by, they jump out and grab it and eat it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they make traps. So I bet that 8-legged fucker has trapped his little scriptorium library thing.
Okay.
You can't trust a spider.
Well, I can do something about that. I hold up my wand of secrets.
You have a stick?
It's a wand. First off,
Ooh.
it's a wand that finds traps.
Well, you could have said that in the first place.
I was building up to dramatic effect and then you ruined it.
Looks like we got another tale teller here.
Did we get another tale teller here? That's what you sound like.
That's what you sound like.
Alright, so we have to wait till night, or are we able to like check this place out in the daytime just to see what we're dealing with?
I mean, I don't really know how the process all works, but you can try. I don't really know where the spider is. Now everyone's still waking up.
He's
It usually takes
there.
a bit of time before he shows up to tell stories.
It would make sense that he probably sleeps there
Yeah.
with the stories.
Where is it from here?
You walk through some trees, and then between some more trees, and then you go under some trees, and then in the trees, there's a door. Like in between them.
Okay.
There's roots, there's thorns, there's trees.
Okay.
Got it.
Do we have to think about the library to get there?
No, you just kind of walk around until you find a door.
Oh,
I can show you the way I went.
okay.
Mm.
Guess we
Let's
could
do
try
that.
tonight when it's safer, especially if the spider's still sleeping there right now and waking up.
Yeah,
There's also a chance that he could tell our story today.
but that's probably not gonna make us remember it, and he embellishes things.
Right.
Changes the story just enough.
Well, it just makes me wonder what he embellishes. Because the first story he told could have given us clues, but we have no idea what he changed.
Well,
Makes me curious what he would.
if all of the stories are there, we could find our own and that one, and that would be the true story.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. I guess we just wait?
Yeah, and not
Wait.
make them suspicious.
I mean, that spider can't be trusted. At this point, if he's not in his little scriptorium, he's probably innocent people in here to steal their stories. His creepy little book collection or something. You just can't trust a spider. I don't want to get spun into a web and eaten alive.
Well, if we play along, I do at least remember that he likes to provide things. If you ask nicely, not names, of course, not memories, but because he's taking those, seems like he's willing to do things like provide food, and he made me these clothes. So maybe we can at least pretend that we still are happy, ask for some things to make ourselves more comfortable, and wait the day out.
Yeah.
Are you going to be coming with us there, or are you considering your part of the deal done by giving us this information?
I want to get my name back just as much as you lot want to get yours. I am gonna go with you.
Okay. Do you have any skills?
What do you mean, skills?
Do you do anything? Do you fight? Do you sneak? Do you
Yeah,
know magic?
yeah, I fight. I can sneak too.
Okay.
As long as you're not dead weight.
I think you'll find I make dead weight. I'm not the dead weight. And he kind of lifts up his tunic, and you can see two finely honed daggers on his belt.
All right, yeah. We've got like a roguish, thuggy Water Davian kind of guy. Oh man. I don't think you said. Did you say he's an orc? Does he have tusks, you said?
He has these two very rotted, pockmarked tusks coming out from his mouth, and his skin is this gray, pallor. He's not a typical green orc. He's short too. He's a stout lad.
Okay. All right. Yeah. In that case, yeah, we'll come back here at night. We just have to wait one day. I'm going to see if tail spinner has any ink that I can use for my book. Can't take that from me.
All right, well, when you're ready to go seek out a scriptorium, you just let me know. I'm not particularly interested in having the little happy animal fun time, personally. A little sick of stories. So, I'll be here on the arse until you're ready.
Right.
And he basically will go, like, plop down on, like, the little bed in his little hut. And is just, like, picking his nails with his dagger. But yeah, it is the morning. A time of day you also haven't seen in a little while. But all of the animals are, like, starting to wake up and, like, come bouncing out of their little huts and are, like, going off into the woods to frolic. All kind of, like, heading in a similar direction back to the original clearing that you found yourselves in with Yarn Spinner. What would you all like to do?
Yeah, fuck this place.
I'm gonna get a free breakfast out of it if I can. And to sort of just plan out my whole day according. I'm gonna get a free breakfast. I'm going to see if, because it seems that he can kind of make anything here, I want to see if I can get enchanted ink copy spells, basically being like, oh, I draw, and I could, make pictures for the stories. Everyone loves that, but I need enchanted inks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what Don's gonna do. He's really mad.
He's mad and biding his time.
Yeah, he's just
you might need to go
time.
chop. You might need to go chop down a tree, my guy.
Right. Wait, he'll probably focus on not pretending to look mad, which is, not the hardest thing for of pretending to not look mad, which is the hardest thing for him to do because he always has like, in general, kind of discontent face anyway. But like, he doesn't want to. If he sees the spider, he doesn't want to immediately do death stares. Even if that's what he wants to do. So he's like, I need to do some of the meditation that my one sister, whose name I can't remember, taught me.
Yeah, you can do that. You can find a moment of zen. Is there anything that Clover would like to do?
Good question.
Clover would like to murder the wildlife to take the edge off.
I mean,
she needs to see blood.
She's really upset. Like, not only does she forget her mom and dad's name and everyone she cares about, but she's missing her cat. She doesn't know where her cat is. She might try to recast Find Familiar to see if that helps.
You attempt the ritual for it. Or like, I guess maybe it's not like a ritual for you so much as it is kind of like tapping into something within yourself.
Yeah.
And like, now that you have this ability, you realize that it's like, it's more than just calling out for a friend. Like, you need to call out for
her. And I need her
and
name.
if you don't have her name, you can't call on her.
Oh my gosh. I think that makes her even more upset. So I feel like she probably just goes... I don't even know if she'll go for breakfast. I think she just stays in bed and, like, pulls the covers over her head and just cries for a little bit. Especially after remembering the charm situation. Like, everything happens in threes. So she's like, yep, this tracks. It's happening again.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
hear like a bird kind of like fluttering around in the trees near the hut, and as you're like sitting in there like crying, you realize that it's a raven because it begins to like croak and caw, but then it begins to imitate the sound of a baby crying as you cry, almost as if it's mocking you.
Damn!
I put the pillow over my head and my ears, and I just try to go back to sleep. Honestly, she probably doesn't.
This place is raw.
Yeah. Don, while you're like meditating, you kind of like take a seat in the grass, and you know that it's one of your eldest sisters. She likes to speak in haiku, and she's a set of triplets. You can't remember any of their names, but she really likes to meditate and drink tea. And you like are sitting there and you're just feeling like so pissed off before you like get into this meditation, and like you look down and you notice that some of the grass around where you're sitting is like burning without a flame and just like curling away.
Yeah, that probably didn't help his meditation. He's like, oh yeah, the Feywild bends to the emotions of the person here. And like for that split second, he's like, I wonder if I can like burn this whole place down. But then he's like, I can't get my book back if everything goes up in flames. So calm, zen.
Yep. But yeah, Ego, since you kind of want to go and try to get what you can out of the situation, you go to the clearing where Fablerai seems to tell stories. I'm not really sure how Ego is going to react to the following, but it is like the most like snow white animals frolicking together, like singing songs. Like they're having so much fun. They're like jumping and playing and like climbing trees and like talking excitedly about what kind of stories they're gonna hear today, and like they're like talking about the stories that they heard yesterday and how fun and cool they were.
I am Maleficent.
Yeah.
That's so like specific and so accurate. Oh my god.
Like, oh my god, I am imagining burning all like any like Family Guy skit or Robot Chicken skit where it's like they're all happy and adorable and then like they're brutally set on fire or something is like what I'm seeing in my head. But I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna really quickly take my wand of smiles and I'm gonna point it at myself and I'm gonna be like,
yeah, and you're just sitting there with this like huge like painful, almost painful smile on your face, and you're like, I'm so happy. And like all the like little birds are like landing on your shoulder, and they're like flapping their wings and chirping.
oh fuck no, like, not the birds on my arms.
Like they try to like land on like the brim of your hat. They're like all over, like, you know, like little caterpillars are like cutely like inching their way up. Like
crazy.
Ink is a theater kid, but Ego is so much like if animals start singing, I'm going to commit atrocities. Yeah. I wish I was one level higher and I had Fireball Victoria. I wish I was level 5.
Oh wow.
Calculated by the DM.
Yeah. But it does take some time of excruciating for Ego frolicking before eventually Yarn Spinner does come climbing through the trees and comes to the clearing and says, "Oh, good morning, everyone." And they all say, "Good morning, Yarn Spinner." They say,
"Good morning, Yarn Spinner."
Well, I have some very interesting stories to tell you today, but first, let's get you all some breakfast. And he starts like weaving the table again and like putting together breakfast with like all these waffles and like bottles of syrup and like stacks of pancakes covered in blueberries, and it's like this whole big like breakfast spread. And all of the animals like sit down and are taking like little English muffins in their claws and like chomping on them.
Ego gets like pancakes and like it's got little whipped cream and like little berries on it in like the shape of a smile, but then Ego watches as like the whipped cream melts, and so it makes it like droop.
Yeah.
And it's like the little chocolate chip eyes start melting, so they look like they're crying, and it goes to a frown. And then I stab it with a knife.
Yeah, but then, everybody's, like, eating, and, Yarn Spinner, like, settles in, is like, okay, is everyone ready for story time? And all the animals are like, story time, story time, story time! Is there anything that you want to say or do before he gets into it?
I can try and ask if I could have some special inks so that I could maybe do some drawings of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. Yeah, if you ask, Yarn Spinner will say, oh, I think I remember. Are you new here?
Yes.
Oh,
I had a great time last night.
oh, I'm
Last
so
day?
glad.
Yes, it was
You enjoyed
wonderful.
everything? Did you? I made you
did.
Did I make you a?
You made my outfit.
Oh right, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What was your? I don't remember your name. If it's all right, I'm gonna call you Hattie because you have a very big hat.
Call me Hattie.
Yes, wonderful. All right, Hattie. You said you needed supplies, ink.
Special enchanted inks for my book. I also have a book, but I don't write stories. I make pictures. See?
Oh,
Do you like it?
those are lovely.
But I ran out of
You should
ink.
tell the others the story of those drawings.
Well, it's not done yet.
Because you ran out of ink?
I ran out of ink.
See. Well, I can help you with that. I think it would be lovely if you could perhaps explain to everybody here, including myself, perhaps a little bit of the story behind these drawings, because you're very talented. These are lovely. Let me get that for you right away. Do you need any? I guess you have a book full of paper. You don't need that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Right. And you said you needed it to be very special ink?
Enchanted inks, yes.
Enchanted ink. Oh. Enchanted ink. I'm a spider, not a squid. I make silk, not ink.
You can make squid?
I don't think I could make a squid.
You can't make a squid?
No, everybody that's here just sort of found their way to me. I am able to, actually, that gives me an idea. All of the animals here kind of came to me when they found themselves in a bit of a pickle, and I was able to wake them up, so that they could enjoy stories with me, and not have to worry about being hungry or sad. So maybe I can wake the ink up. I'll try that. And he begins, like, weaving, like, a very ornate little, like, ink bottle in the shape of a spider, and, like, makes a quill out of, like, silk, and every little strand of the feather is, like, a little piece of silk. And he begins weaving it, and it pops into existence, and, like, he puts the quill into it, and then he, like, clicks his little mandibles over it, and, like, begins speaking in, like, a spidery language that you don't quite understand. And there's, like, all of the colors in this little clearing become even more vibrant. The greens are the greenest you've ever seen, and the wood has this, like, warm, rich glow to it. And all of the animals are, like, the brightest colors of, like, reds and browns and whites that you have ever seen. And then there is, like, a little pop, a little flash of light, and this, like, little pot of ink in the shape of a spider like begins to slowly like walk towards you with its little glass feet. And there's like a little bit of a sparkle in the ink inside of it. I think this will do what you need it to do. You just need to tell it to stand still when you want to use it. It has a mind of its own, but I don't know how else to make enchanted ink if it's not awake.
You know, I think this will do wonderfully.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to get started on the first story while everyone eats their breakfast, but you enjoy your drawings and we love to hear a story about them later. And Yarn Spinner sits and begins telling a tale of a group of individuals who visited a magic carnival who were brought together by the silken threads of fate. And that although they experienced loss in coming together, they will be made whole again and come out better for it and like learn all these great lessons. And like he tells the first part of your friend's story of like being like children and meeting at this carnival and being spread apart by time and space, but coming back together again at that same magic carnival. And like goes through this whole story. And as he finishes it and you reach, you start to reach that like kind of like mid-afternoon time. And he's got like one story left in him. We will end the session for tonight. And come back to our own story in a week.
Oh boy.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know what spell I'm
Nuclear
gonna add in.
bomb.
I know what spell I'm gonna add in there today, and it's going to feature this spider.
Yeah, well, hey, thank you to my lovely players, as always, for tuning in for the chaos. And thank you to those of you who are watching either live on Twitch or on the YouTube and or Twitch, like VOD. Appreciate having you here along this weird Feywild journey with me. But yeah, don't forget to check out Little Dragon Corp and Carpo Castle Games. Thank you, Sirenscape. Thank you, Suncraft. Follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube, join our Discord, etc., etc. And we're happy to have you. Is there any other announcements that we need to get through?
Legalize nuclear bombs.
Wow.
No, we should be fine. Yeah, we're not too close to Christmas to
A couple
messed
more
up after.
episodes.
Yeah. So, I think schedule-wise, I should be good for the next couple Thursdays because they're not, like, the holidays are on Mondays. So, assuming nothing crazy comes up for anybody, we should be back next week and the week after, and finish out the rest of December. But yeah. And now you guys understand why I made the little, like, call status a spider.
Amazing.
Time,
I
it's a
did
little
see that
spider.
earlier.
Yeah, I saw that and I was curious, but now we know.
Yeah.
So yeah, next time you fall asleep in a spider archfae's domain of delight and you see his ghost following you through your dreams and then you forget your name because of that, don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. And we'll see you back here next week.
Love you, bye. Ooh.
Ooh.